Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Luffy is using Gear 5 as the hybrid form of the Mythical Zoan Nika, the sun god. But what about the complete form, the full beast mode that Zoans have? Let's break this down, using only what the manga has shown so far. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, today's topic is hot. Luffy's Gear 5 seems to be just the hybrid form of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. But with Zoans, especially mythical ones, there is always a full transformation, that total beast mode, where the user becomes the creature itself. Kaido turns into a full dragon. Sengoku becomes a massive golden Buddha. Marco becomes a flaming phoenix with no human traits left. So why would Luffy be any different? His fruit is a Mythical Zoan, the rarest type, and its awakening already unlocked Gear 5, which is clearly a hybrid form. A humanoid body, Luffy's face, but with flowing white hair, wild eyes, a smoky aura, and absolute cartoon-like powers. He laughs non-stop, turns the environment into rubber, stretches beyond imagination, becomes a giant, or shrinks down, makes the ground bounce like a trampoline. All of that is insane, but it still looks like a mix between human and god. Nika's complete form would have to be something beyond that, without Luffy's normal traits, becoming the sun god in his pure essence. Let's pull directly from the manga to support this. In chapter 1044, when the awakening happens, Zunesha hears the drums of liberation and recognizes that Joy Boy has returned. The classic silhouette of Nika appears. A tall, slender warrior with wild hair, a flexible body, always laughing and dancing while freeing slaves. That silhouette is not exactly normal Luffy, it is more stylized, more divine. In the current Gear 5, Luffy resembles that image, but he still keeps his face, his nose, his scar, his sloppy pirate vibe. So it's easy to imagine that the complete form would be him fully transforming into that legendary figure, with no trace of his original human body, like a walking solar entity made of light, heat, and infinite rubber. Think about the other mythical Zoans we've seen. Kaido's has a full dragon form, where he completely loses his human appearance and becomes a massive flying serpent surrounded by flame clouds. It's terrifying, imposing, pure raw power. Sengoku's fruit, during the Marineford War, turns him into a colossal golden Buddha with no trace of the old Marine. Marco becomes a full blue phoenix. Nothing but fire feathers and insane regeneration. All of these complete forms amplify the theme of the fruit. Dragon means total destruction. Buddha means divine enlightenment. Phoenix means eternal rebirth. For Nika, who represents freedom, joy, and the sun, the complete form would likely be a radiant being, like a living humanoid sun, radiating energy that makes everything around it come alive, bounce, laugh, and break the rules of physics. In the current manga, during the Egghead arc, Luffy uses Gear 5 constantly against the Garasi and Saturn, but it's still that fun hybrid version, with him turning into a balloon, throwing giant punches and rubberizing enemy attacks. He gets tired quickly, needs to eat meat to recover, and his hair goes back to normal when the form ends. That suggests the human body is still the limit, the anchor. In the complete form, that limit might disappear. He could become a pure solar figure, no longer needing constant food, with laughter echoing like thunder, his body shining so brightly it blinds Kizaru's light, or generating heat that melts Akainu's magma. All of this stays within what the manga has already hinted. Nika is the god who brings the dawn, freedom, and the end of oppression. The sun rises every day, renews everything, warms the world, but can also burn those who deserve it. Another strong clue is how Vegapunk explains the fruit. He says the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika is the most ridiculous power in the world, limited only by the user's imagination. In the awakening, that imagination affects the environment itself, turning reality into a cartoon. In the hybrid form, it's already crazy. Luffy makes eyes pop out, hair spin like a propeller, and uses his body to spin enemies like a rope. Imagine that in the complete form, without the human body holding it back. Maybe he becomes a floating sun with rubber rays stretching for miles, lighting up the entire sea, turning whole islands into massive trampolines. The drums of liberation would beat so loudly that Zunesha would dance again, or even awaken other ancient elephants. The Gorosei fear Nika for exactly this reason, calling it a threat since the Void Century. They know Joy Boy nearly won with this fruit, and he may have used the complete form back then. Comparing this to normal Zoans, even older ones like Choppers or Lucci's have full forms. Chopper turns into a pure monster and Monster Point, losing control but gaining absurd strength. Lucci becomes a full leopard, agile and ferocious. With Mythical Zoans, the jump is even bigger because the animal is divine. So for Nika, the full beast form would be divine to the extreme. Not just rubber, but living, solar rubber that represents absolute freedom. Maybe the body loses fixed contours and becomes a mass of white and red light, with hair like solar flames, eyes like spinning stars, and the eternal smile of the Liberator. The straw hat could float like a crown or merge into the aura itself. In the manga, every time Luffy uses Gear 5, he keeps human traits because it fits his style. A free pirate, but still a kid who eats meat and laughs with his friends. The complete form might be saved for moments of absolute despair, when the hybrid is not enough, like against Imu or at the climax of the final war. There, he might need to abandon his mortal body to become the pure god, sacrificing initial control to gain limitless power. The laughter would be uncontrollable at first, like during the initial awakening, but then he would master it, bringing the true dawn to the world. Another thing the manga shows is how Nika's power affects hearts. In Wano, people laughed along while Luffy fought Kaido. In Egghead, even the giants feel the V. In the complete form, this could be amplified. Everyone nearby would feel true freedom, Haki awakening on a massive scale, slaves rebelling just by seeing the sun rise again. The Gorosei, who are immortal or demonic beings, might weaken under pure sunlight, like myths where demons flee from the sun. Without jumping into pure invention, all of this comes from what the manga has already established. The fruit has a will of its own. It chose Luffy. The awakening is the peak of freedom, but the body is still a limit. The complete form would remove that final chain, turning him into Nika for real, just as Joy Boy may have done in the past. Oda loves saving his trump cards for the right moment, just like Gear 5 only appeared after Luffy died against Kaido. The full form might come after another critical moment, like facing all the Gorosei at once, or when the entire world is at risk. Visually, it would be epic. A body larger than Gear 5's giant form, a solar aura exploding outward, rubber lightning whipping through the air, the ground turning into an ocean of trampolines, the sky brightening even at night. The heat would not burn allies, only oppressors, symbolizing solar justice. The laughter would echo across the world, making even Blackbeard tremble in his darkness. Because the sun defeats darkness, and freedom defeats control. And what about stamina? In the hybrid form, it already drains fast. In the complete form, maybe it would be sustainable because he turns into pure energy, like the sun that never goes out. Or maybe it comes at a huge cost, shortening his lifespan and forcing Luffy to choose carefully when to use it. But the manga always shows him evolving, so he would eventually learn how to balance it. Let's analyze this possible transformation of Luffy in more detail, based on what the manga has already been hinting at. We have already seen the hybrid version, but the complete form of Nika, that mythical Zoan full beast form, is still a mystery, and it's incredibly exciting to imagine what it could be, especially since, as you said, Oda rarely leaves things like this without a clear plan. So far, Luffy in Gear 5 already has absurd power in his hybrid form, turning his body into something almost without limits. He stretches, throws gigantic punches, distorts the environment, creates cartoon-like effects, all in a spontaneous and hilarious way. The combination of his human body with Nika's solar power is fascinating, but just like with other mythical zones, the complete transformation is implied to be an even greater power. And for Nika, that full form, as you pointed out, would not just be an exaggerated version of the hybrid, but a near-divine transfiguration, where he completely loses his human traits and becomes the very symbol of freedom in the sun. Looking at other mythical zones like Kaido's dragon or Marco's phoenix, their complete transformations are clearly more monstrous and more powerful, as if the animal of the fruit fully takes over, perfectly reflecting the core concept of the fruit. In Nika's case, as the god of freedom and joy, his complete form could be even more spectacular. Imagine Luffy becoming a pure entity of sunlight, his body radiating heat and infinite energy, no longer anchored to a human form. He could literally become a manifestation of the sun, with rubber-like energy so immense that everything around him would start to bounce or transform, as if the world itself were one massive playground of freedom, something only Nika, in his true essence, could create. And what do the most recent chapters show us? The idea of Luffy as a catalyst of freedom, a being who can shape reality around him through the power of his imagination, is already present in Gear 5. In the manga, we see Luffy altering the environment, creating an atmosphere where the laws of physics seem to break down. Now imagine when he no longer has the limitation of a human body, when he becomes the pure manifestation of Nika's solar power. That would mean his influence on the world could expand even further, creating devastating or liberating effects on a global scale, to the point where an entire island turns into a trampoline or oceans become bouncy, living seas. Another key point is endurance. In the current Gear 5, Luffy's energy clearly runs out fast. He needs to recover by eating meat, and his hair returns to normal when the power shuts off. But in the complete state, he might no longer depend on food to recharge, because he would become a source of energy itself, a true sun god. Of course, that energy could still come with limits, as you mentioned, involving heavy costs or sacrifices, but it would be a nearly inexhaustible force. This would be crucial for Luffy when he needs to use this form in critical moments, like the final battle against the world government or, who knows, against the Gorosei. In the end, Hybrid Gear 5 is already the most fun power in One Piece. But Nika's complete form would be the absolute peak of Oda's creative madness. A laughing, elastic, liberating sun god ready to bring the dawn to the entire world. I can't wait to see if this actually happens in future chapters. What do you think, crew? Does the complete form really exist? What would its design look like? Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe for more theories as hot as the sun. Until the next adventure, that was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.